Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hanging Out for a Living, the channel where we dig deep into businesses and individuals who are shaping the future of various industries. Today, we have a very special guest who is actually revolutionizing the property management section. Today, Jim MacDuff joins us, and he is a visionary, actually the visionary behind Flower City Real Property, and Flower being Flour, City Real Property, a company that has successfully turned the traditional retail or rental property model on its head. So imagine owning a property and sitting back while someone else not only manages it for you, but optimizes it for maximum return. That's right, from guest screenings to professional cleaning and sanitization, Flower City Real Property does it all so you can simply collect your income. And Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Teresa, for having me. I'm very excited to be here with you this morning.
So let's dive into our questions, and let's start with Flower City's differentiator. You've positioned Flower City Real Property as more than just a property management company. You're providing peace of mind and maximized ROI to property owners. Can you tell us what inspired you to approach property management in this way?
Well, I think our approach really was born from just being the differentiator versus the other players in the market. Investing in real estate is not a new concept.
True.
So and property management's not a new concept. So we wanted to marry the two where we're really diving into the the challenges that such an environment brings, and that's being able to put some money in your pocket and and not really have the same challenges, but at the same time dealing with those challenges in a different way. In that, instead of brushing them under the rug and pretending they don't exist, let's
Mm-hmm.
focus on them specifically so we can
Sure.
use that to extract, a better value for the for not only for myself as a property manager, but for the
Sure.
investment property owner.
Absolutely. It kind of reminds me of outsourcing, right? Do what you do best and
Right.
leave the rest to somebody else who has the expertise in that field, and just takes a lot of the stress away. Um,
I
so the
agree.
sec, right? There's a lot that goes with it, and I think until we dive into it, right? For ourselves in real estate investment, property management, we really don't know all the nuances, and it's so multifaceted.
It
Um,
is.
that I know for a fact it's way over my head. So I'm grateful to have people like yourself in the industry. So
Thank you.
let's talk a little bit about the per night cost concept. One of the unique offerings from your company is determining the per night cost to help property owners maximize their ROI. Could you elaborate on how you arrived at this concept and how it benefits the property owners?
Oh, certainly. And it's a great question. I don't think it's a question that's all asked too often, because I do, as a business owner, I check out the
Mhm.
competition like any good business owner should. And
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of hosts leaving money on the table. So the approach is, you know, there are a lot of things in life that are dynamic, okay, in
Yeah.
terms of one size does not fit all. This is no different. So what I do in the approach of my per night cost approach is I not only I use third party tools, pricing tools, and I do market research. Supply and demand is not a new concept to anybody.
True.
So different nights of the week are in more demand than others. So I take a dynamic approach, look at historical behavior, say the last 6 to 12 months, look at the size of spaces being rented in that 6 to 12 months. And so we take that demand and the prices that have been renting for, and we take that approach with our per night costs. So we're taking a lot of different factors instead of setting it and forget it. I'm taking in demand prior history with this third party provider, price provider, and I'm setting my cost accordingly. Now I'm a business. So yeah,
Right.
there is a markup. I do add a
Sure.
markup just like any retail business adds a markup. So I
Absolutely.
do the research, put in a little cushion, and that's my approach to my per night pricing.
And I love how you say you do the research. It's not just something you're kind of like, I'm pulling it out of the air, this is me,
Exactly.
So, kudos to you for doing that and taking the extra time to do it. And that's a really nice segue into our next question. We can talk a little bit about quality control. So, ensuring a property is clean and sanitary is really more crucial than ever in today's environment. Tell us how does Flower City Real Property ensure that a high standard of cleanliness is maintained across all properties that you manage?
Oh, yeah, it's a great question. And quite frankly, before I answer that specifically, we started at the top of the pandemic in
Mm.
2020. So, there was a lot of questions like, are you even going to get any business by opening a new
Right.
business? Because nobody was traveling. Well, people were traveling. And quite honestly, they were looking for short term rentals and residentials instead of going to hotels, which are shared spaces. So,
Sure.
not only did I succeed, but we thrived. As soon as we put up our sign for business, we just took off. Now, to answer your question specifically, is very important. It's a good question. Uh, what we've done is we have partnered, or partner is a strong word. We've linked arms with a cleaner that has high standards, and she's quite frankly had 10 plus years experience
Wow.
cleaning short-term rental units. So what Sam does when she comes into the units to clean, she's got a checklist, right? I mean, she is a machine,
Right.
so she's not cutting corners at all, but rather she's working by a plan with a checklist plan, A, B, C, D,
Right.
clean, sanitize, all the small details matter, right? Crossing your
They really
T's,
do.
dotting your I's. Oh, absolutely. Clean linens, clean. It's just that's how we keep the standard and keep the level that we do is because we've got a system. She's got a system and she comes in and she behaves the same way, kind of to the point that you just made about the pricing. She's not feeling her way through the
Right.
unit. We got a plan. These things need to be executed. And we've added some other things, not cleanliness related, but she does a couple of other things for us to make sure things are up to scale. Making sure the coffee is good, making sure we have toilet paper, paper towels, that kind of thing. So that's
Exactly.
how we maintain the standard. And the platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, they're obviously very naturally interested to make sure those items are cared for the guests. And so we make sure we're checking off those boxes with the platforms to make sure they're comfortable with us as owners.
Absolutely. It's so, so important. And it's great that you're able to link arms with someone who has the same priorities, is this of the same mindset, and treats it like it was her business, right? So you guys are
Absolutely.
truly partners that way. That's awesome. And so let's talk a little bit about guest communication and screenings. So, managing guest relations is an integral part of what you do. We can agree to that,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So, could you share some insights on your screening process and how you maintain open lines of communication with guests while really ensuring peace of mind for the property owners?
That's a very integral key to this, too, by the way, Teresa, because, when I'm talking to an investment property owner, and quite frankly, anybody, for some reason, short-term rentals has a stigma that you're just attracting, college-age people looking to party and trash your property. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen if you've got a
Sure.
premium property on the water. Those are things you have to look out for, no doubt. But this is a very linchpin part of the operation in that, you know, in this day and age, unfortunately, we do have to be on guard for squatters.
Oh,
and
yes.
I'm pretty sure I've had a few knock on the door. But what we do is we do screen. Let me back up. I should say, if you are a guest on the platform, let's use Airbnb for the sake of ease, and
Mhm.
it's the one everybody recognizes the most.
Right.
When a guest that has a profile on Airbnb, if they have created a profile and their identity is verified, meaning they have provided Airbnb their government issued ID to be sure they're saying who they are. If their identity is verified, communications verified, phone, email, and most importantly, if they have a couple of positive reviews from previous stays, you can auto book my property because
Ah,
there's a degree of credibility there that you are who you say you
absolutely.
are, and you've got a track record of treating property with respect. Very much key. Now, if you don't match that criteria, it's still okay. It doesn't mean you're dead in the water. But at that point, we engage more with that communication, and that if somebody comes to us with a new profile, for
Sure.
example, all right, Mr. Guest, Miss Guest, who are you? What's your full name? Where are you coming from? What are you coming to Rochester to do? What are you? Who's going to be with you in the unit? I want to know all the names of people that are in my unit. And I get a little granular, and some people have had a problem with that. In that, well, that's really none of your business, kind of thing. Maybe fair enough. I don't think I'll agree with that, but
Yeah.
we're obviously not a good fit for you, Mr. Guest. So maybe it'd be better off if you found somewhere else. So we we vet our guests to make sure that we're not renting to a potential squatter,
Sure.
um, because you do have to be on guard for that. And we just really we have a very respectful transaction or communication with them to make sure that it is a good fit and they're going to be treating our property goods and not leave it trashed. So
Absolutely.
we've had a tremendous amount of success with that screening process.
Absolutely. Sounds like you've got it buttoned down really, really well. And
Doing all right.
folks, I know you, Jim, I know you do. Folks, when Jim said he referred to Rochester, he was talking about Rochester, New York. I know there's a Rochester, Minnesota, so I wanted to clarify that for you all. And also, total sidebar, if you heard a dog barking in the background, that was my little girl who I think somebody must have come to the door while we're doing this. So, welcome to real life and the human race and working from a home office. But anyhow, we're going to wrap this up and say, Jim, thank you for taking the time to share your journey and enlightening us on how Flower City Real Property is really changing the game in the property management industry. To everyone watching or listening, if you're intrigued by the innovative solutions that Jim and his team offer, be sure to check out their website and social media channels, and you'll find the links to that in the description of this video. This could be a game changer you're looking for in your property management experience. And as always, let's continue this conversation. Feel free to leave your questions and thoughts in the comments section below. We'll make sure Jim gets a chance to see them and, of course, reach out to him directly. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging out with us, and we'll see you the next time on Hanging Out for a Living. Bye-bye, everybody.